Alright, hello, welcome to another update. So this is a little sneak peek or sneak look at how I organize my work for this project. I have everything organized in Trello board. I currently have everything that I've completed in all these different lists, which is not ideal really. I didn't want to archive them just so I can look back more easily to things that I've done before, but I can easily do that in my calendar app too. So it's not too bad. I might do that in the future, but this helps me keep organized and bugs that I discover, things I want to do in the future, and kind of plans I have, just to make myself more organized and be able to actually push this project along. So today we can see everything that I've done today, and really I was finishing implementing. So I was completing a bunch of minor tasks today. So one is that I finished fixing up the grabs so that now it's behaving properly. Whereas last time, because of the new knockdown system, the guy would just get stuck on the ground afterwards. Let's see, I'm gonna move this over here so you're not constantly looking at my board. Let's see, boom. All right, so the next thing I did was that the air attack was also a little bit buggy. So now it also looks correct now. And then really the main bulk of today's work was reworking the movement system and collision system that I had from last time. After a few more days of just playing around with it, I'm not really happy with how things are going. So here I have, let me actually organize this a little bit better. So here I have reworked the movement a little bit. Mainly, one thing to note is that I fixed the jump arcs, so that currently if you jump back and you just hold up, you'll go straight up. And before it was carrying your momentum backwards with you, so if you backward jump once and then held up like bunny hopping, then you would carry your momentum. Now it doesn't do that anymore. The other thing was I really did a lot better job at this new collision system here. The old force system wasn't really doing as well as I hoped it would, and there were some. The main problem with it was that it would push players very far away when they were on top of each other. When I went back to Guilty Gear today just to take a look at how they did it, and they were a lot more consistent in terms of just snapping characters to be kind of closest distance apart when they collide, and then just kind of basically just teleporting them to where they could, and it didn't really end up being a big visual visual problem because it was such a short time. So currently, that's exactly what we have now, which is awesome. So you can see these really nice cross-ups that we can do now, and when we jump on top of people, we just nicely land next to them. It almost seems like we can't land on them, right? So there are still a few instances where it's a little bit buggy, as you kind of saw there, but otherwise it's pretty good. So if you have player 2 jump, for example, like now currently I can't push this guy around with just me moving towards them. Instead they just slide down very nicely, which is awesome. The corner also works nicely. Let me see. I can show you, right? So if you jump on the corner, you just slide straight down back. Instead of beforehand, you would slide kind of, let me see the camera, you would slide further back. It's the other way. You would slide further back. Right now, you just slide straight down next to them, which is awesome. Next thing I did was that I really fixed up Bandit Revolver a lot, mainly the air hits. So let me actually change something. So I actually added a little bit of a testing framework so that you can start mocking inputs. So right here, I check if you're player 1, and currently, if I set that if it's true, then I play. Then player 1's automatically gonna start jumping. So if I do, let's see if I can hit this. Right, so I made Bandit Revolver a lot more consistent when I'm hitting them in the air. And the other thing was that now there's 2 normals that you can cancel out in the air into a Bandit Revolver. So if you do heavy, you can cancel into Bandit Revolver. If you do medium, you can also cancel Bandit Revolver. Medium also knocks now, just to keep consistent with my knockdown system that I was having before. And then let me fix that back. Right. So one of the last thing was that there's now different fireball speed. awesome. So now you have hard fireball, this is the medium fireball, and this is the light fireball. These different speeds are useful in terms of block strings, right? So if you're want to do a hard block string, you might make sure you do a hard fireball, things like that. The other thing was that my counter hit logic was actually a little bit buggy before. You go to my damage graph here. I don't know if I showed you this, how I separated the damage stuff into a different graph now, so it's a lot cleaner and easier to work with. Compiler time is also faster, I think. Right, so I think you can see it here. Now you just get 2 frames of bonus hit stun rather than, I think, 1.5 times, which is actually kind of crazy. As opponent refactoring, I've also took out all the redundant damage attack info that I had here earlier, where I had them each attack info attribute feeding individually into the damage system earlier, but now I just have the whole attack info, which makes passing any new parameters I want a lot easier. Yeah, that's kind of just what I did today. A lot more cleanup, a lot of working on new things, or a lot of really cleanup, and really this new like collision system is much better than before, which makes me very happy. I think there's still problems with I think if your frame decreases, it's not that great. I currently have it locked to 60 FPS, but I'm not sure what happens if your frame goes below. That's a question for me probably later. Hopefully the performance won't ever drop below that much. Yeah, so a few more things. I added hurt boxes to a few more moves that was missing them earlier. For example, this move was the standing medium was missing the hurt box, or missing the guard box, and also the hurt box, the extended hurt box. So I added them. So yeah, next stage of the plan is really adding more UI and adding more testing features. Currently all the attack information and like frame advantage and stuff like that are all placeholder, which is fine until I get sort of more a better testing environment for both. Hopefully I'm gonna have a timer, so a better framework for just like getting into the game. So people a start screen, getting into the game with a timer, and then a victory or defeat screen. So your health, when your health goes to 0, the game actually ends. And adding more testing, right? So more testing stuff that I mentioned earlier, where I can record and replay inputs. I would able to see the combo meter. I would able to see the input history and stuff like that. Is there anything else that I was missing? Right, and then the other thing I want to add was the frame advantage / disadvantages display, so that I can see without me trying to. Okay, so what I'm doing now to see like how far advantage I am is just like try to hit both at the same time, and then. Alright, I realized the end of my video got muted earlier, so here's what I was saying. So to test frame advantage, what I do right now is that I attack and then hold both up on both the controllers. This is fine and dandy for simple attacks, but when I'm doing like testing counter hits, for example, then it gets like a little bit more difficult because I have to press both of the attack buttons and both hold up, and it's hard for me to see exactly how many frames I'm advantaged by through that. So hopefully the display will give me an easier sense into exactly whether my frame advantage or disadvantage frame data is behaving correctly or not, which will be great, and also good for any sort of training mode I might want to add in the future. So yeah, hopefully I can get this full game loop done where I can start the game, have a timer go down, and then people fight each other, and then end the game sometime by the end of this week, and have all these nice displays going along with it. But my first step is going to be definitely getting some UI elements, getting the timer, and then getting these sort of basic things that's going to help me more easily test these different things in the future, and in terms of developing characters too. So yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in, and see you guys next time.